Donc attendez-vous sur les couloirs de la dernière tendance individuelle tout de suite et maintenant. Découvrez des looks jeunes, urbains et innovateurs. Tous les jours,
To do? Well, they're all part of the sporting federations of Quebec. And they actually live and work, oh, well, live is a big word, but I mean, they spend 8 hours a day just underneath this whole stadium. Now, let's say a few words about the stadium itself. Quite an impressive structure. Let's put it bluntly. It's, with this type of climate, it is not the best solution, okay? I'm being honest with you. It is not the best solution, okay? It's pretty, it's interesting, but it's...
Merci. N'importe. Arrête-moi ça ici.
See where it says biodome? Okay. Are you ready for a story? Short one. Okay, biodome. What's the word? It means biology. Big party going on tonight, the Black and Blue. You must have heard about it. It's a large rave party. Mostly gay, but large, I think there's 80,000 people expected. Then again, we have large Olympic pools at the bottom, saunas, shopping mall, and everything else. And please remember that we were 4 years after Munich, and we were afraid that something might happen during the games. So what we've done is we've shielded this whole village off so the athletes would have everything they need, and we've constructed an underground tunnel, and that goes... Now, one last word on this. The large canvas we have all the way up there, that used to be Kevlar, a large thick component. Policemen use that for their bulletproof vests. That's what we had prior to that. Now, the roof is American. It's Bird Air. It's an American society. Every little district, every little quarter has a church. Now, if you look here, on the left-hand side, you'll see the entrance of the St. Lawrence River. And if you look that way downtown, we've just passed over St. Catherine Street, which is the main commercial street. We have the whole downtown area all the way down there. There's no high-rises in Montreal, well, no more than 45 stories high, because we don't want buildings to be any higher than the top of the mountain. So that is on purpose. We will do that on purpose. No building higher than the ones you see now. The large brown building here is very important to us. It's CBC, Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. That allows us to see French TV, French network, from Vancouver to Montreal. And we actually produce most of the shows that are broadcast elsewhere in the country in this building. The St. Lawrence River, that's a nice view. See very much what I've told you? Now the old Port of Montreal, where people are actually moving back, this is where the boat would want to come in to leave their merchandise. The industrial zone, the amusement park. See how much I got you ready for this ahead of time, so you'd be ready. Je tourne à droite ici sur cette élève, hein, mon gars? C'est beau, hein? Now we will be going down on St. Helens Island, the natural island, for Expo 67. So we'll be able to stretch out our legs, make a picture of the city. Now the large park you have on the left-hand side is still very much in operation. It's a very famous park. People love to come here in summertime. Plus we have that large Benson and Hedge. Tell you a little story. It was covered with acrylic. It was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. It had the, but what happened was that there's a fire that happened, and it burned down the whole structure. So what we've done is we didn't redesign it. We redesigned the interior, and we've kept the structure, and we've made a large museum out of it and its interpretation of the water. So even though Quebec has a lot of water and lakes, we are teaching the next generations to be very careful with water, because water for the colors in the Laurentians. So it's absolutely spectacular. After that, the leaves will fall off. But they're holding hands. It was Man in His World, and that's the French Pavilion on the other side, which has become the casino. And the golden structure next to it was the Quebec Pavilion. Oui, I go, s'il te plaît. Now, I would like to point out the American structure, because this is a great place. Look on the right-hand side, because this is the best view spot. This is the best spot where you can look at the American Pavilion. It really looks great from here. See how pretty the island is from this side? We are redesigning the landscape. That fountain down there, see that cascade and everything else? We're totally redesigning that. The large structure, the metal structure you have down there is, do you remember those mobiles from Calder in the 60s? Calder was very famous for those little mobiles that you'd put on the ceilings. Well, that's a design from him. That's a sculpture from Mr. Calder. So see how far we went? We went all the way to the stadium, we've crossed the bridge, we came back on the island, we're heading back downtown in the old port of Montreal, into the historical part of the city. Now, oh, this is one of my favorite spots. This was the main gateway to Expo 67, okay? We have strange looking structures out here on that pier, and I'd like to say a little bit more about that. Now, hold on. Slowly stop. Go back. Stop. Stop. Now, look at the American dimes and coins in the water. That's Canal Lachine. Now, there are paintings. We will go a little bit further up. You will see Magritte, Gauguin, Schlutz, Charles Schlutz, and Peanuts. There's a large thing. And Walt Disney also participated into children's sculptures, and they are fabulous. They are animated. This is the last weekend for this exhibit. Flowers and things are still pretty nice to come out to. This is the large exhibit I've told you about, right? Just a few minutes ago. This is entirely, now the principle is rather interesting because I sat there this summer, and basically for those of you who are curious to see how it's being built, it's brooch, like a chicken brooch, you know, like when you're building a fence, and they fill in with dirt, and they finally model these things to make them to look like sculptures. But let me get to show you a little bit more of this. There's a Burman temple all the way down there in the water. Can you see it? There are birds flying out of the water, all made of flowers. Tu peux avancer un petit peu, mon Robert, mais lentement, lentement, lentement. It has been the place we've had, I don't know how much visitors we've had this year. This place, when we used to pass this summer, was filled with people, wall to wall. Okay, we'll go down slowly, Robert, very slowly. Tu peux descendre. Tu peux commencer à descendre, Robert. Merci. Can you see the paintings down there? Can you see Schlutz? Can you see Peanuts? Show them. Yeah. See, they've surrounded the whole thing with fences and everything else?
Right there.
Because they want people to pay to get in. Now, this year is the year of the Chinese dragon, right? I'll show you a beautiful dragon entirely made of flowers. Now, these large, ugly structures that we have in the back are part of the old port of Montreal. We have to preserve them, unfortunately, because that is part of the history of the city, and apparently they have some architectural value to us. I don't know what, but anyway. I'm not the one saying it. Hey. C'est beau, Robert. Merci. On prend à droite. Now, folks, you'll get to see a little bit more of this.
Oh, look at that.
Now that's the reaction then. Look, and the figures, they have got Indian figures on the side of the turtle. Yeah, and they've got a belt. What comes in the back is a large Indian belt with the graphics and everything else. And look at the clock on the other side. There's a large clock. Tu peux y aller, mon Robert, un petit peu plus vite. Now, my next cue to you is, can anybody find the elephants? Can you find the elephants? Can you find the elephants? Look right here. They're right here, straight ahead. See that white tent there? Look at the elephants.
Oh, yeah.
Mother and the baby. Mother and the baby.
Yeah.
Right there. The whole ground is just like this. Fun, eh? Yeah. Still not gauchissimo, okay. Now, remember I told you the Chinese dragon? This is the year of the dragon, year 2000, right? In Chinese horoscope. Look at the dragon here. Look at the dragon here, right here.
Oh, 2000.
Isn't that something? Is the City Hall of Montreal, which in my opinion is quite a nice building, Second Empire type of structure, and that's where the mayor at its convention. I'm sorry. The other one, I guess we can run along, eh? Q and Clue. You've noticed that, eh?
Some people believe it's a crate that carried parts for the Statue of Liberty that you got in the 1890s. Somebody stuck a little sign on it a few years ago, and people were going around the monument to look for the door to the restrooms. But of course it's none of that. It's this monument is called the Monument of Minimalist Art, and is a bit of its history, looking back at its past at Place Royale and looking forward to its future on the St. Lawrence River. I shouldn't take it if I wouldn't take. I'll take you home after.
Is that our hotel?
Yes.
Oh wow.
We're on you.
Hotel in Canada. And it is on the list of the 100 best hotels in the world.
It's one of the 100 best
For all
in the world.
that, a standard drone will set you back approximately 225 Canadian dollars per night. But that drone does not have a view on the river or on the city. I mean, you know, in the 18th century. This started an interest with the government, which then expropriated the whole area in 1972. We'll move a little further up.
La vie.
City. At night it's all lighted up, so it's pretty nice. There's a large ship in port right now. It's the Maasdam. They're on cruise from New York City. And I don't know if we can see snow on top of the mountain. On top of, yeah, I was there on Saturday. There was a sprinkling of snow on top. With the colors down at the bottom, it was just beautiful. Really nice. For somebody who loves the snow.
Oh, yeah.
Some males get married.
No, they're cold, man.
As if Quebec City did not have enough natural hills, we had to build this one in 1890 to accommodate the electric streetcars who could not make the grade on the natural hill, those electric cars. As we made the intersection, as we turn around, you'll be able to see the new barracks. New barracks were built from 1947. 1740. The church was started in 1634 by a small chapel. Later on, it grew to that size in 1759 when it was destroyed during the war. It was rebuilt using the same walls. It was lengthened a little bit, and within the British Army were Scottish regiments. After the war, some of the people from the Scottish origin actually decided to stay here. They were granted some lands and became farmers, but they needed the church to practice their religion. So this one was built in 1810, St. Andrew's Presbyterian Church, and it's just across the street. Of Quebec. And you can see the way it was built. The stone wall is about 20 feet thick, and then there's 60 feet of packed earth behind it. So that way it will sustain cannonballs quite easily. The building for a couple of minutes, and I'll be giving you explanation on the building itself and what. And they started marching into town. Now, Europeans in those days fought a war a very simple way. They line up in front of each other, they shoot at each other. If one side has anybody left standing after a while, Lord Dufferin saved the fortifications. Louis Joliet, Father Marquette, Monseigneur de Laval, the Roman Catholic bishop, Marie de l'Incarnation, and other sisters that are on there. So all 22 of them.
Nothing, Jimmy.
We're gonna fall.
Oh, we're gonna
Don't let nobody on. More on, we're gonna break.
Mommy.
What are you doing?
Mommy.
If it's like the one at Olympic Stadium, it'll jerk.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh my
There you
God.
go.
That's great. Look at they got the lounge chairs over
What
here.
if it breaks? Then it breaks. There are 3 brand new cables, dude said. They just built this.
Yeah, he did say that. Oh, oh,
Oh, we're falling off.
got a little bump there in it.
You can't even see the mountains.
Oh, they're gone today.
You can see snow over there though on top of that. Look at that.
Where?
Isn't
Way
it
over
white
there.
over there? Yeah.
Way over there, yeah. We seen a car this morning. Well, there's one.
Isn't that like
Had
just
about an inch of snow on it.
Look at that.
Oh, well, that bad. Are the balloons on
Mommy, Billy's pushing me.
No, they're for free. Just take one.
Here, step right down there.
Look at the pumpkins.
Okay, that's good.
Is it down there?
Jeannie, get with Lori.
All 3 of you. All 3 of you short people.
Quit touching each other.
Quit touching each other.
Okay, smile, touch each other, go. Boom.
Gotcha.
Now I've got the audio on here.
Oh.
Trying to-
Flying finger.
Want me to take a picture there by that?
Oh.
Why?
You see all the way down the street? Oh, that's cool. You can see all the way down the street, and then there's the river behind it.
Yeah.
Buggy ride.
Yeah. Let's go to Hot Toddy somewhere to go. We'll get in
And
the
do
buggy
that.
ride.
Yeah.
Get a big blanket and cruise around for an hour or 2.